No.
I don't know why I do that, because I've got my glasses on. Thank you. Just wait for Jamie to shut the door.
Oh.
Thank you. Does it come here? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the ordinary meeting of Dunchurch Parish Council. We'll go through our normal spiel first. Photographing, reporting, recording, filming or transmitting the proceedings of a meeting may occur, and therefore all persons participating in the meeting should be aware that such recording, reporting or filming may take place. Members of the public attending the meeting but are not participating in the meeting who do not wish to be filmed or photographed in the meeting must state this at the start of the meeting.
I don't want to be, thank you.
Okay, thank you. If members of the public...
Neither do I, thank you.
Thank you. Right, just to make everybody aware that there's one resident filming the meeting, which is facing us. So, yes. So we're going to initially start with the public participation session from 7 till 7:15, where members of the public are invited to give their views on items on this agenda. Does anybody have anything they wish to say?
I've got a couple of things, but they're really quick.
That's fine, you get to
You probably know about this anyway. Is there any update on the hanging basket brackets that are supposed to be being fixed to the lampposts?
That will be done. We've gone back to them again, haven't we, to WCC, and stipulated that they must be in by the end of May.
But they've got to be up by the end of May.
Yeah.
Do you know how big they are, how long they are?
No idea, because we didn't actually organise them. I think somebody else did. I didn't want to say that on the film. You know when the WCC meeting with the hanging brackets with Mike Cunningham in 2019?
Oh, yes.
A long time ago.
Remember that, yeah?
Yeah, about the hanging basket brackets. Can you remember? I wasn't at the meeting because I don't know, just joined. I can't. There's a weight stipulation, isn't there? And they will take, from what I remember or what I've seen since, is they will take the Rugby Borough baskets.
I'm pretty sure that's true, yeah.
I think that's,
I've got
yeah.
the emails, I can backtrack and find
Oh,
out.
well, there you go. Would you be able to speak to Sue on that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And just to say that Tony and Simon have taken those bags away.
Thank
this
you
afternoon.
very much. That's amazing. Thank you. That's great.
That's
Thank you.
brilliant.
That's nothing. That's not on the agenda. So thank you. Brilliant. Thank you. Hello.
Hello. Is it just worth, if it's not on the agenda, is it just worth updating the meeting about, today's meeting about the bus shelter?
We're going to do that on the clerk's report.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you. But I'm going to be the clerk for a little bit.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Yes, we will do. Does anybody else have anything that they wish to add?
I'd just like to come, Paul Moore, President of Dunchurch, I'd like to comment on the minutes to be approved. Item 16. I can't find any detail of the fate of most of the French cast lampposts. We talk about 2 being bought by the public, but I don't know about the remainder.
Item 16 is...
Probably it's last.
I was going to say item is to ratify the policies. Right, well in the minutes of the meeting...
No, not the agenda for this meeting. Agenda item of the minutes to be approved from the last meeting.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise that. You didn't stipulate that. That's in the minutes. We'll go through that when we go to the minutes section. Any other members of the public? No? Okay, so we'll move on to the agenda. Item 1 is to receive apologies. Do we have apologies?
We do. Councillor John Marlowe, Councillor Jan G. Russell and Councillor Clara Martin.
Oh, okay, I propose we accept the reason. We know the reasons for absence. And I propose we accept the reasons.
Happy to accept everybody?
Yeah.
Moving on to item number 2, declarations of interest and dispensations.
Can I go around?
Yep.
Paul?
None. None.
None.
Thank you.
Item 3, reports from Rugby Borough Councillor and Warwickshire County Councillor. Put that in.
We have. I've received a March report from the Dunsmore Ward Councillors and it's about 4 pages long. So I've posted it on the website. So if anybody would like to have a look, then please, if you're able to look at the website. Other than that, if you want me to send you a paper copy, perhaps you can contact me, and I'm quite happy to post one or email one to you. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great, thank you. So, moving on to item 4. Item number 4 on the agenda is the co-option of a new Dunchurch Parish Councillor, Gary Sly.
Hello, Gary.
Hello, Gary.
Hello, Gary. Hello.
So we've received all of the paperwork.
Yeah, I've sent all of the paperwork to Gary.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's come prepared with the paperwork.
No.
Okay. Do you live quite close?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Would you be able to go, you know, the declaration of acceptance form that I sent to you, that said that we need to sign that together in front of
Oh, I
everybody?
thought you had a printed copy of that here, so just sign it off.
No, I have to say I sent it to you. Do you have it in print? Can you print it?
Yeah, I should be able to, yeah.
Okay. Could we defer this
Yes.
item?
To the end of the agenda.
Well, yeah, or when Gary comes back. So would you be able to go home and get the declaration of acceptance? Because without that, we
We
can't,
got it on
you know, we can't proceed really. Would that be
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, should be able to.
there.
No, not
you haven't got one
I
here,
think
have
we'll
you?
do that print.
Okay.
I thought I sent it back on an email with a... Just... That's kind of...
I haven't had it, no.
Have you sent out an email, Gary?
I think I have. I thought I had. I thought
Can
I
you get on your emails on your phone and ping it to mine, and then you can sign on my iPad in front of me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that would
Shall we, is it alright to move on, Gary? Just-
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
then-
yeah, carry on.
Yeah, is that alright? I'll give you the chance then. Okay, so moving on to item 5, we'll defer item 4. Minutes of the Parish Council meeting which took place on the 7th of February 2022.
So what was it, item 16?
Item 16, French columns.
Report and consider disposal of French lamp columns.
Is that right, Mr. Waller? But the report to consider the disposal of the French lamp columns.
I don't know who reported. Is there a written report? Is there a statement to say where they are, where most of them are going? You state that 2 are being sold to a member of the public, but where are the rest to?
So the 3, we are changing the 3 lines. Anyone who was actually at the meeting, we took 5 lanterns down, 3 are being replaced because 3 lamps in the village don't have lanterns on because they've snapped and they can't be fixed. So we've actually asked for a quote from WCC and the timetable to be able to replace them like for like, so that they will be then fully working French columns, 2 on Rugby Road, 1 on Stocks Green. Any spares that we do have, we will consider selling to the public. Right, okay. So I propose that we've all seen the minutes.
Yeah.
We've all had a chance to make any alterations or amendments if necessary. I propose that we accept the minutes from the 7th of February.
Happy to second, Paul?
Yep.
Brilliant. Is that unanimous?
Yes.
Okay, Ian? Okay, Harry?
Yes.
Thank you. So moving on to item 6, clerk's report of activity since the last meeting. Do you want me to do the bush shelter one first? Well, it's in my head.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we had a meeting, the bush shelter working group had a meeting with the contractor. The work for the new bush shelter, well, the repairs and renovations to the bush shelter will commence on the 4th of April. The thatching will come off on the day after. Initially the site will be secured. They will create like a small compound. The next day the thatching is being taken off because that's obviously the heavy part of it. Then they're going to look at jacking the bush shelter up with 4 props. I think we came to 4 in the end.
Oh yeah.
The work will take between 4 to 6 weeks, in which case it will be rethatched at the end. Everything will go back to how it was. We had a brief discussion about the benches, about the lighting in there, the floor, and the preparation around, so it looks, it's all a bit wonky at the moment. The actual paving around it's not symmetrical. So we were looking at that. We also stipulated about the putting in bloom competition, because behind the bush shelter they'll be using it as a small compound, at which they've agreed to re-turf and make it good when they're finished, because it may kill some of the grass off. There may be a vehicle on there if they can't get parked. That's about it, isn't it? It's 4th, so it starts the 4th of April.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So moving on to your report.
Well, very, very briefly, just to let everybody know that I received a commercial industrial waste collection agreement, and I've signed it on behalf of the DPC and sent it back.
Thank you very much. Brilliant, thank you. How are we doing? Okay, that's fine. Moving on to item 7, Dunchurch NDP update. Paul?
Yeah, okay. So, so Homes England had a suggested date for a consultation in January, which they subsequently cancelled.
And didn't
And didn't, you know, just
tell you, yes.
they just cancelled the booking for the hall, and that was it. I haven't heard anything else from Homes England about what they're proposing in terms of any consultation. We haven't had any information received about the consultation that happened in December. Although I saw on the South West Rugby News that site investigations are now happening, which and are planned from the 8th, or started on the 8th of March, all the way through to the 30th of March, and will or may involve temporary traffic lights on the Coventry Road, Northampton Lane, Corston Lane, Alwyn Road and Rugby Road. And as yet we've not received any planning application for the link. We've also received notification from Framptons, who represent Tritax, that they're holding a public consultation for the development of land at Corston Farm. And that consultation is happening on the 22nd of March at Corston Grange Primary School from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. I did write back to Framptons and ask why that wasn't taking place in Dunchurch, and they replied that it's a site that is nearest to the residents of the land that's affected. I have asked them to hold a consultation in Dunchurch, but I've not received any response back from that yet. And now that I've had some personal business that I've concluded, then the NDP group I hope to resume in April.
That's brilliant, thank you. Thank you. Moving on to item number 8, planning applications.
Yeah, there's a list of planning applications on the agenda. Each one of those is considered by the parish councillors and replied back according to each of the different individual circumstances.
Yeah, thank you. Moving on to item number 9, to report request for information and freedom of information requests. Yeah? Fabulous, thank you. Item 10, to receive a report from Councillor Ian Grogan re the Queen's Platinum Jubilee.
That is going very well at the moment. FODs are leading on it, alongside the Women's Institute, the festival group, guides, scouts, so it's a real team collaborative effort going on. It's going to be a 3-day event in June. Thursday the 2nd is going to be the Village Beacon lighting ceremony, which Dunchurch Parish Council have sponsored the whole beacon. That will be lit at 9 o'clock at night, along with many other villages in the United Kingdom. On Friday the 3rd, there's going to be an afternoon service in the church of Thanksgiving, all uniform youth groups, brass band, refreshments, etc. And then on Sunday the 5th, at 12 noon, it's the big Dunchurch picnic. The people can bring picnics, there's going to be entertainment, food, drink, Morris dancing, etc. to actually celebrate on the Sunday. So
lots of hard work going on there. I think it's going to be a really good 3-day programme, and I'm sitting on the committee for DPC to help take that forward. One quick question.
Yeah.
We have sponsored the Beacon. There was a question raised at the last meeting, as I hadn't heard of this, but do we have a £500 fund within DPC in addition to support the Jubilee that's been given to us via the council? I hadn't heard of
We
it.
haven't heard that. No,
No.
No. Right.
no, we've never heard that.
So there's nothing additional that we hold other
So
than
we
the money
think-
we've already sponsored.
Yes, which is our fund, which is our precept.
Yes.
So is that's from Rugby Borough Council, do you
They
think?
think they thought there was a possibility.
Okay.
I'm trying to chase Dunchurch Rugby Borough Council to see, because it's a new
Okay.
financial year looming, just to see if there are
Yes.
any grants or what there is. But I just wanted to make sure,
Yeah.
first of all, that we haven't got something lying there.
No.
The total cost for everything will be £1,300, and no one in the village will pay anything to attend any of the events.
Brilliant, that's great, thank you.
Can I ask a question? Where's the beacon going to be?
It's going to go on the heath opposite the newsagent.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ian, and thank you for doing that work. Item 11, is that ready yet? Item 11, to discuss the protection of the Lord John's gap, then engage the stonemason for cleaning.
Right. Well, as you know, I received an email from a conservation officer, which I forwarded on to you this morning. And he said he attached photographs of the statue with the cracks and fissures. When I spoke to him on Friday, I mentioned about cleaning the statue, and the reason being that the cracks may be more highlighted if the statue was cleaned. But he's giving basically instructions about the kind of company to contact. And so I don't know how councillors feel about that. And I received another quote as well, last thing this evening, from Bowden and Ward, and they are quoting 2,525.
Which is significantly higher than what we were thinking.
Yeah. But that's to erect scaffolding and fence off with Harry's fencing and everything. To steam clean the statue and treat with biocide.
Does that mention anything about the conservation? That having liaised with conservation, or have they listed companies who say the conservation officers already?
They are conservation. I think that, you know, they're part of their stonemasons. Excuse me.
Yeah, I just wondered if the conservation officer, can we look further into it? I wouldn't want to just rush ahead
No.
and...
Because actually David Slight, from David Slight Conservation, has suggested that we look, and he sent a list. So I would rather defer
I would, yes,
that
I would.
until I've got more information.
Yes, just to make sure that we know, I don't think we consider any quotes until we know that they're...
And then I can send a little report out to everybody,
That would be great,
sort
thank
of highlighting.
Yes.
everything.
you. Yeah, it is.
Excuse me.
Listen, okay. Moving on to item 12, to discuss and if appropriate agree to commission an air quality survey in Dunchurch at the Crossroads. The sum of no more than £3,000 exclusive of VAT.
Right. Okay, I've got 3 quotes. One from Redmore Environmental. So option 1 is passive air quality monitoring of 5 separate locations over a 3-month period for £1,895. Option 2 is continuous automatic air quality monitoring at a single location over a period of 3 months, and that's £2,995. The next quote is from Acon Environmental Consultants. Option 1 is for air quality monitoring, 3 months diffusion tube monitoring and reporting for £1,950. Option 2 is air quality monitoring for 6 months with a diffusion tube and reporting, and that's £2,950. And then Aval Consulting Group, diffusion tube analysis every 4 weeks, £900. Site visit and installation and changeover, 2,800. Monthly reporting, 840. Final report, 560. Mileage, 180. And the total is £5,200.
No.
And that's for,
Yeah.
yeah, hang on, that's for 6 months. So 3 months is all of the above, but for 3,210. So I would go with,
Yeah,
either one of the first.
yes, I think so.
So I have
Yeah.
circulated all of the quotes
Okay.
to everybody, including the Redmore one.
Yeah.
So how do people feel?
3 months, I think, is more than enough because you're going to go into the school holidays.
What's
which
we
is
doing for?
good.
But that was my next question. In terms of if it comes back that the pollution is high, what ammunition does that actually give us
Yeah.
to do anything with?
We can't, it's going to go against we couldn't object to the homestead link. It doesn't really, it just shows we've got pollution in the village. A high level of pollution.
For £3,000?
Yeah,
Which we know.
yes. But we can't change anything with it to the best of our knowledge.
Right.
We can't,
So if we're going to put that amount of money in, but it can't influence anything,
I'm not sure I understand why I'm doing it.
it's something that's been done 4 years ago. It's something that residents were asking for again since the road works have been done. But personally, I don't see it's going to add anything because they're talking about putting a new link road in, which is going to divert traffic away from the area that we're talking about.
right?
I don't know what else we can do. We can't put.
And I know we have to listen to what residents are saying, and that's what we're here for. But on the other hand, if there's nothing that we can then do in terms of influence and on the back of it, it's wasting public funds, isn't it?
Yeah. I agree. 'Cause we can't do any. Even if it comes back and shows it's increased significant level. I don't know. There's nothing else that we can do to put measures in. We've already discussed informally the idea of a bypass, which is a note because of the acquisition of land, etc. You have to go for a compulsory purchase. It's not going to happen. Warwickshire did not have the funds. So I agree on that. I don't see the need to have it now. I mean, could we defer it? Could we defer it? Why don't we defer it till we know what's happening with the homestead link, etc. as well?
If we can find out about the link,
Yeah.
that will probably...
Well, we know the link is going to be next year.
Yes.
2023, don't we?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to prove anything.
But even if we do one now, what do we have to compare it with?
The one from 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But we can't divert the traffic from the centre of the village.
And that would be the practical solution.
Yes, which is a bypass, which in a way unofficially is hoping that the homestead link will take the traffic rather than coming to the lights and turning right, it will take the traffic off. On that one there.
Right.
Am I allowed to ask or make
Yes,
a comment?
yes.
First of all, none of you have mentioned electric cars, which by default will reduce pollution by more each year, I imagine.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I think Jill said that it was residents who requested it, but just because a resident requests something doesn't necessarily mean that all the other residents want you to spend
No.
£3,000 on it.
And that's why we're discussing it now.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
Well,
We have a
you
duty
are
to look
discussing
into
it because Ian has forced it, but at one point it looked as though you were just going to spend the money.
No, we have a duty to look at it and a duty
Yeah.
to obtain quotes for it. That's the whole purpose.
Okay.
But until we know what's happening with the homestead link as well, it's not actually.
Shall we defer?
I think we should defer for 6 months. Proposed.
Yeah.
6 months, give us time.
Well, nothing will change in 6 months, will it? In terms of the homestead link.
I think we might have to defer it longer.
Okay,
12 months.
12 months.
Do you think that's more likely? I mean, we should have a planning application in by then, shouldn't we?
Well, you should have a planning application and hopefully work started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll defer for 12 months, it'll give us clear, yeah.
Give us a clearer idea of what's expected.
Yeah. I
What
think
they're going
so.
to do.
Yeah, and what exactly the route's going to be. Is it going to be easier for people to go to use it?
Yeah, yeah. I think seeing the route of it.
Yes, seeing the plans.
The-
but they're
the
not
traffic
the initial-
from-
Yeah,
Coventry Road to Rugby should be using it.
yes,
Any other journeys won't be.
yeah. There'll be more of a bite to come through the village than to use it, I should
Oh,
imagine, from that
definitely.
way, won't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
From that one. Yeah, to
For
first
12 months.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, item number 30, to appoint nominated trustees on behalf of Dunchurch PC for Dunchurch Sportsfield and Village Hall. Mr Keith Brotherhoe and Mr Phil Freeman are happy to stand again. I propose that we accept the appointed nominees. Trustees even, not nominees.
Okay. Anybody second that?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Unanimous? Yeah? Happy?
Item number 14, to consider the appointment of an internal auditor for the year 2021-2022.
Right, I sent round all of the stuff that we had received from the previous internal auditor. I think it did, I feel that he did a good job last year.
Yeah.
So does anybody have any objections?
I propose that we accept the last year's internal auditor's quote and the paperwork.
You happy to second?
Yeah,
Harry?
happy second.
Thank you. Happy with that, guys?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item 15, to discuss the refurbishment of Arkwright play area and potential spend.
I think
We
we're
didn't
going
have
to
an
defer.
update, we're going to have to defer because it was at the last minute, okay. Item 16, to ratify DPC's policies, Dunchurch PC Code of Conduct, GDPR consent form and privacy statements, grant application form and terms and conditions circulated to councillors.
All of which I've circulated. There have been no significant changes in any of them actually. So are you happy to propose?
I'm happy to
That we
propose that we
accept?
accept the
Yep.
policies.
Okay, thank you. Okay. And seconder?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Is that happy?
Yes,
Happy?
happy.
Harry?
Yeah, happy.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, moving on to item 17, to approve the footway lighting maintenance from WCC at a cost of £2 and 4p plus VAT per lantern and £10.44 plus VAT per lantern for non-LED MBF lanterns as previously circulated. I propose that we accept all the abbreviations.
Yeah.
Yes, we've all had a chance to see it and make.
Yeah,
Comments
it's just
on that?
clarify, this is
Just
for them to agree that they will maintain the service as opposed to doing anything specifically for this month.
Yes.
Still pay for
We
everything.
still pay for everything on top, yeah.
Happy with that, Harry?
Yeah, happy. Happy to oppose.
Happy with that, Ian?
Yes.
Paul?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, item 18, to update speeding, dangerous driving and traffic in and around Dunchurch. The traffic wardens have been out paying a lot of attention to the square with the illegal parking. They've been out and about quite a lot in the last 2 weeks. We haven't had much police support for the speeding at the moment because I know they've been committed on other things. So they're hoping to start back again soon to increase that. We're still looking at doing the villagers community speed watch. I'm waiting for a PC to get back to me about the date that it's going to start, and then we'll push it again out to the members of the public to see if anyone's available on that. I think it's 8 at a time can be trained, and then once we know what we're playing with really, what figures we're playing with, then we can look at a second or third speed gun, which the issues are around insurance, etc., and where it's stored. Moving on to item 19, to approve and support a proposal to create a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit through the village. Councillor Podivin, I apologise, I was looking at the wrong date in my diary.
Okay.
The meeting that we referred to isn't the 17th, it's the 14th, which is today.
All right. Okay.
That was a starter.
Okay.
I was actually doing my diary at the same time. And I don't have that here, have you got that here? That's the 4th one. sorry, apologies, I printed the wrong one off.
Okay. So I think it's actually from...
It's the bottom bit. So we've all seen that, the actual motion is at the bottom, isn't it?
Right. Okay.
Oh, is it? Alright, there we go. Bear with me. Right, so we all saw this last one, actually, we all saw the plan that was going to go out to create a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit throughout villages throughout the country that was being backed by WELC and National Council. So the basic definition is that where the 20-mile-an-hour limit requires no enforcement measures such as speed humps and is more useful where current speeds are generally lower. So the more important thing we were thinking of at the time is all the streets surrounding the schools or ideas where children play, just to create those areas. We know that it's not practical on people who are speeding through the village at 30. So going through the main roads may be more of an issue and a challenge. However, we've also got to then feature in the fact that we can't put any speed measures on Coventry on the main roads because there are arterial routes for the M45 if the M45 is closed. So the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit is proposed throughout all of the smaller residential streets, particularly around the schools. On that one. Does anyone wish to say anything?
Okay, so it mentions the village of Dunchurch. So
Yeah.
what's the boundary for that?
It is going to be the parish of Dunchurch,
Okay.
that was my error on that. It will be the parish,
Right.
because you're going to have more, including the new estates
Yeah.
on the outer extremities of our parish.
Okay.
So you're talking like somewhere like Sanford Way,
Yes.
going down to the two schools.
Yeah. And the roads leading off, so Duclos, all the
Close,
schools, yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah,
Okay,
all the schools, because at the moment we've only got Atkinson, haven't you?
right.
So that
Both sides of the school.
both
so it's
sides
not
of the
just that
school.
side,
No,
it'd
no,
be-
it's the,
Sanford as well.
surrounding the
Yeah.
school, yeah, any road surrounding the school
Okay,
is one thing, and then we can look at. So this is the actual proposal to actually put it in. We haven't named the roads at the moment.
Mm.
So there could be other roads in the locations such as around where the youth group meet, around the scout huts, anywhere where there's going to be children really on that one.
So the motion says create a 20-mile-an-hour limit throughout the village of Dunchurch.
But it'll be named roads. It's throughout the whole, you have to
That's
think
not what it
throughout the
says.
parish.
It's not what the motion
It
says.
does say it says somewhere on the bottom with named. This is one that we took from somewhere else, so I apologise. You have to then name the streets.
Not this motion.
No, it's not helpful at all. I'm going to propose then that we defer this to next meeting so that we can seek clarification on it, because it does say about named streets.
I mean, I'm for it. I
No.
just think we need to get the motion.
The TRO can name as many individual streets as necessary. It can be hundreds.
Yeah, I saw that, but that's not what the motion says.
Okay, so we'll go back, we'll reword
Just
it to
reword
have
the
like,
motion, yeah.
well, should we put the streets on? Are we going to go back that to clarify streets before we?
We don't need to put the streets in the motion. It's just that you've got the wording that says throughout the village,
Yeah,
and throughout the village indicates every road.
That was how I read it.
That's
this
right,
is
yeah.
one that's actually come from other councils in the country. This is a standard one
That
that's
doesn't
gone
mean that
in.
it's right.
It doesn't make it right, but
No.
this is one that's gone in as a standard motion across the country.
Yeah.
We'll go back and check.
So I think
We're going to go to
you
next meeting.
create a 20-mile-an-hour limit on selected
Yeah.
roads within the parish of Dunchurch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely take it back so that it's worded correctly though, so
Yeah,
that it's, we then don't drop something, just in case.
Yeah.
Because this has been done by Walt, so
Yeah.
we'll go back and double check. I'm not saying that they're always perfect, but I'd hate for us to drop something.
Yeah.
I like Paul, I'm in full agreement too.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
just in terms of enforceability,
yeah,
in terms of a conversation around how that works, how are you going to enforce that in terms of the signage that we're going to need for that will support it?
Enforceability is the same regardless of what the speed limit
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
We're still you're absolutely right, we're still reliant on.
We're still relying on people abiding by
So
it.
you're reliant on goodwill.
Yes, yeah. But then you also, it is enforceable. So if the speed limit is reduced, then it can be subject to prosecution.
Right, and that's when we can use.
And that's when we can
Police,
use,
yeah,
yes,
right.
yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So what,
Not querying the motion.
No, that's
Spot
right.
on,
It's
but-
right to clarify it. It's
Yeah.
right to clarify.
So looking at Sanford Way, I guess the Sandon Road won't be impacted. That will still stay as a...
That was
That was still
previously-
set,
But
yeah.
then,
But when you turn right into Sanford Way to go down it, and the cars sweep in,
so are we going to get an increase in street furniture?
Free.
20 mile an hour signs on Sanford Way. And,
There will be at the ends of the road,
yeah.
or the
And all
markings
of
on
our
the
roads
road.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
markings on the road.
Okay.
The safer children, markings on the road.
Well, we're not going to get the cost of that.
No, this is what we need to go back to Councillor Roberts, because Councillor Roberts is in charge of, we get a certain amount of money, don't we, a year to spend, is it 40,000? I can't think what it is, to spend in, if he decides to take a proposal forward. And he's in charge of, or was, if he still is, in charge of safer schools.
Okay.
So hence the H markings, etc. that came round and things like that. So it's almost like butting up to that, really. You know?
Okay. So
Okay.
if we defer to...
Yeah, defer to April. And then,
I can't get technology to work.
okay.
Okay, what?
I can't get technology. I can get Gary's documents, but I can't get it so long as I sign.
Okay.
Can we print them? Can you print them?
So they have to print their access to Wi-Fi printer.
It's not.
Can't print them.
Okay. So we're back to the original request. Is there any chance that you might be able to go home and print out the declaration of acceptance?
yeah, can do, but also it's probably easy if I can get my, I'm just downloading that, I can just sign on the phone and just put it on the doc and send it to Howard and it's signed.
But you need to be able to do it in front of...
everybody.
I need to
Oh,
sign
no,
it.
Yes.
I just thought the document would be here, you see, and I just
No,
signed
it needs to be signed in front of everybody at the meeting.
Yeah,
and
so
I
just
need to
asked Kate
countersign
sign it, didn't have to
Okay.
bring it with me.
Okay.
So is there any chance that you might be able to go home and get a
Yeah.
copy
Yeah,
by the end of the meeting?
Do you want to go back to your
Find it.
Pardon?
How am I going to find it and what your printer?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I can do that.
Gaz,
You just hold it.
can you get Malcolm's printer?
Pardon?
Can you go and get Malcolm's printer?
There's a printer here, but I don't
Yeah,
have to go to it.
I mean,
Print it
the
here, so
alter-
it's not Wi-Fi in here.
Isn't it?
No.
the alternative is that we defer co-opting until April.
If Howard's, I've sent Howard one where I've filled in the top bit, filled in the bottom bit in capitals, not signed it. But surely you can just append a document saying subject to.
No.
No.
This is
Because I
very
need to
vague.
countersign
It's,
to add-
unfortunately
Oh, yeah,
not.
no, I
This
get
is,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't get it to work.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So do you mind me asking you?
No, that's fine, yeah, I
Well,
can
you-
do that, yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's,
Not
not
on
there, then
camera.
get come up
Yeah.
with the house, it's not a problem at all.
Okay.
Give 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
See you,
I
see you
think 2
again.
minutes might be a bit...
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Sprinting there.
I sent the print to it already.
Oh, okay.
If I can get to my printer. Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay. So discuss and approve.
Put it on.
Oh, I've got 2. That one should be
So,
okay.
yes, I sent round.
that's yours,
I
Jim.
sent round.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Item 20 has been covered by item 14. So item 21, Gary's got one agenda item.
Yeah, so round finance.
Finance,
So
yeah.
the summary of payments made for the month of February and the bank reconciliation were published on the DPC website on the 9th of March. I can confirm that I've charged bank reconciliation back to the bank for the co-op as well as sent to CCLA and Scottish Widows. I've not been able to do that for the Skipton. They haven't sent the most recent monthly statement through. There's one payment to be approved, which is the one to Warwickshire Association of Local Councils, or WALC for short, for £876.80 for our annual membership.
You propose?
I'm proposing.
I second.
Right, everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Not quite sure what we're doing now.
We hold the meeting open until
We
Gary comes.
suspend, just stop till,
Absolutely
yeah.
do.
We suspend it until Gary
We can just, so any items for private session?
No.
No?
One
Okay, go on.
for a private session.
for the private session, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's the word? It can easily hold, it's not particularly vital. It can easily hold until April, that helps.
No, not if it's
The
important.
private
No.
session is one where we don't have...
Nobody's here. Yeah, so we wait till afterwards. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So we are suspending the meeting. We will just stay here until Gary comes back. Yes. That's fine.
Is that staying on?
The meeting hasn't finished, so...
Ed will have to.
Yeah. But feel free to go outside and have a chat. Or so yeah, the camera is still rolling and is still audio recording.
The only outstanding item is hopefully Gary coming back with a paper that he can sign and then he's appointed.
Don't hold your breath on it.
Thanks, Julie.
I love the way you got them. Just pop that. And then we can all sit and wait for Julie to come back with that. Yeah. Thank you. See you later. Hey.
Can I talk to you about the electronic?
Pop outside for 2 seconds.
Yes. The lady in pink. Jill.
Do I? Oh gosh.
I now understand the jigsaw puzzle.
Yes, I wanted to chaperone. It's come together.
Yeah, I think it's quite. You never know. One or two unpredictable moments.
Yeah. So, to support, I did want to put a motion forward that the meeting is conducted in silence, so I have to read my book or something, but apparently that's not allowed.
No.
I just can't understand why. No, we were going to mention that when we did the... Yeah. Tracy and I would do it. Not that with glasses.
Yeah, well, I've got my glasses in there.
It's quite useless. We can't unfortunately.
Go out there.
I'm not really standing on the birds this year.
Sorry, can I
Is
just...
it for anyone?
Well, suspended it.
Yes, I think they have
Yeah.
what you could do is
But even without electric cars, cut out, don't they?
Yes.
Just for a few seconds.
Yeah.
You think it might start having used it because I've stolen it.
Yeah.
But it just, it's good to have.
The Russia one.
Yes.
Could be years early, but yeah. Yeah.
Of course, I propose as president.
Yeah.
Could you send
process is.
quick email?
Yes.
Just off different
Are you enjoying being with us? Yeah. I did it for a while. Yeah.
Yeah,
At that time, So it's been a hoist of some sort. So it'll be fulfilled with combustible material.
Well, no, because we have to account to so it's gas, a special type of gas that pollutes less, which is all the other religious laws, which actually recommended by the British Trust. The Jubilee, the Jubilee Fund.
So there'll be like a gas. Sorry. Yeah, I was trying not to face the camera. Like a gas cylinder.
Gas
And then it's an electric spark.
The people with the spark, and then that one.
Oh no! It's affecting us now.
Yeah.
What's that? Western Power out now. We're doing a fight, we've got electrical fire. Oh, that's right. On Coventry Road.
Great.
So Western Power are out,
You
so...
can still sign as the signature of his document. Any idea, Jane, how long it's going to be?
Me?
Oh, I thought you just walked in with the information.
Well, no, all I know is, no,
Yeah.
it's just, but it is an electrical
Yeah.
fault to set fire.
Unless they
To
specifically
the,
want to
or the cable.
Unless you specifically want to stay.
Yeah.
You've got to.
Well, you're a trustee, isn't it?
All
Was
that's
it in his
left to do
house?
is just to...
No.
Obviously, it's like Carol's done, is it? Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
promise is
right.
vulnerable. There's 26 funds.
I think if you thought you just come in and decide that either one.
Yes, no, that one.
Tracy, in future, just
No, that helps it.
You said January?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got the talks out.
Yes. I'll just say, I'll send him a message.
Just copy me. Yeah. Copy me into it.
I can't copy you,
Oh,
we can't
you
do
do
it,
it,
but
okay.
I'll give you the...
Yeah, do that. And send me a list of dates.
Yes.
Because if you don't,
I'll put the dates.
yes,
Yeah.
send me that and I'll put them all.
You can organise it, you can do you want. I'll make a phone call,
So
you
it's
the alarm
something
clock
to do
thing.
for community.
Give the alarm
So
clock.
you have to do either
There's an activation at the library.
So,
I didn't see one from the council.
no,
There's a website, Platinum Jubilee.
yeah.
I bet
I was just going to say, I'm not. So I'm well, that's her, but now all the street lights, they've just turned it off down here, so this is what you want to do.
Couldn't justify it.
It's come out, and it really what's
It's nice to meet you.
And I'll see you
Yes,
again
yeah.
soon. How's it?
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, yes,
That's what we thought, we couldn't see.
yeah. No, we came down, we were late getting back, and the flames are right up high off the floor. The green box opposite where Emmons and Avenue, the flames are coming out the opposite side of the road. Yeah.
Yes. Quite a shock to the system.
See you later, thank you, thank you. Paul?
And all that, is it?
Next time I'm going to.
Let's get some candles out in a minute.
So all you need to do is send me a minute.
What's happened, Tracy? There's been a fire.
There's been an electrical fire, yes, an electrical fire on Coventry Road. So literally just in between Atkinson Avenue and here, the road's shut. So the flames are right up here.
Yes.
It's coming out underground. So Western Power have just turned up and I was out there.
And that's why it's all off and off.
Yeah, so I take it Western Power, they've just turned them off because they've just arrived.
Yes.
We've got odd ones on. Still, when we get a moment to note, one of our electrical lights is our emergency light, so they're due to come back and do an inspection soon. So,
I haven't, I might have to go to the pub.
Did you find out something?
Yes, it's in the office. Yeah, I don't have power, but I look for it.
That's all right.
Everybody's at the pub.
Your dogs all right, when you're all right. When what happens, do that.
There's a lot of the inmates, more than inmates.
What's that?
Yes. It's actually called up just a little bit out.
Yeah.
Oh, but they've got suitcases. Yeah.
I'm sure there must have been something in the past.
I mean, I don't think there's a law against it.
You've lived in Dunchurch, haven't
Must be consulted.
you? Yeah.
Shall we start?
Here he is. Is he back?
You keep them within the 20-mile-hour speed limit.
We're going to talk now,
Just to let everybody know.
You see candles, don't we? Should we go for our phone? Oh dear.
So, what do we officially do now?
Okay. Let me,
So is that
Should we take a photo then?
Just putting our lights on our phones.
yeah. So, okay, so could everybody sit down?
Yes.
Would somebody be able to shine a light?
Dunchurch Parish Council meeting in the dark.
Where's he gone? So,
Is it-
what do you
is
call
it-
them, Gary?
do you want me to do it?
Please?
This is item number 4.
As item, yes, back to item number 4 on the agenda, the co-option of new councillor, new Dunchurch PC councillor, Gary Sly.
So you need to sign it where it says signed.
That one there, the top one, and David. Yeah. Okay, and then we go back.
To me, and I need to countersign it. Thank you very much indeed.
Meeting by phone line.
What do we do with our phones?
Right, okay, so the date is the 14th of March. Right, okay, so could I have a proposer and a second?
I propose that we accept the offer of Mr. Gary Sly to now be part of Dunchurch Parish Council as a councillor.
Happy to second.
You're, okay. Right, okay, could I also mention that Councillor Stephen Corder has tendered his resignation. I sent an email round to everybody. And we have accepted it, and the notice has gone up on the notice boards.
Yep.
So on the DPC website and on the notice boards.
Thank you very much.
Technically, we need to have a vacancy.
Technically, two vacancies. But we're waiting, still waiting for rugby, I presume, for the
Yes, so I think that
election for
Yeah.
one.
for one, yeah, and
We'll wait and see.
we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
So I think the cut-off day is the 30th of March.
30th of March, yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, that concludes this evening.
We've got a private session.
Oh, sorry, we've got a private session now. Gary, you can stay. This is a private item, which is item number 22. Private session, under section 1, subsection 2 of the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960, and in view of the confidential nature of the business about to be transacted, it was felt advisable in public interest if members of the public were present during consideration of such business. There would be, I can't read it from here. There would be a disclosure to them of exempt information that the public be temporarily excluded, and they are instructed to withdraw from the meeting. A resolution is required at the meeting for items to be discussed in private session. So the next item on the agenda will be discussed by councillors only. So thank you very much everybody for attending. Hope to see you. Sorry, I propose that we withdraw members of the public for private session. Yeah, the camera then has to go off as well. Yes. Thank you. Good night. Thank you. Bye. That's just